Welcome and thank you for joining episode 1, season 2 of our ScotiaLive webinar. I'm P.L.A.N. Chung, the Director of Sales and Service for Scotia Insurance. I'm pretty excited about today's topic because it is something that we tend to delay, even though it's oh so crucial. Retirement planning is very important and it affects all of us. Many of us have an ideal age of when we'd want to retire, but not many understand how it is that we go about to plan for retirement, what it is that we need to do, when we need to start, and the sources of income that we will need to have in retirement. So today, we'll share lots of insights with you. In fact, we have with us P.L.A.N. Pinnock, our Senior Insurance Advisor.
Hi, Carrie. Hi, everybody.
And Carol McKenzie, our
Hi,
Senior
Carrie.
Investment Advisor.
Hi, everybody.
Now, today we'll go through a lot in discussing proper retirement planning. In fact, call it a cheat sheet, if you'd like, of how it is that you go about planning for retirement so you can live the lifestyle that you envisioned. Retire the right way. Now we'll start off by discussing the topic and we'll invite you to share your questions via the Zoom and Instagram live chat. Now, P.L.A.N., I'll start with you. What is retirement planning?
Well, Carrie, simply put, retirement planning is knowing what your income goals are and the steps that you need to take to get there. But what we also want to look at, which is also equally important, is what is not retirement planning. Not retirement planning is waiting until you're almost at the age of retirement or even in retirement itself. And that's when you're looking to get a retirement plan started. Depending on your family and children, which is common in Jamaica, unfortunately, that's not retirement planning, guys. So we don't want it to continue along those lines. Not knowing if your investment rate will keep up with your future needs, that's not retirement planning too.
Not effective at all.
No, it's not effective. And also having just one source of funds. You know, some persons in Jamaica would have a house and they plan to rent it out during the retirement years to generate some rental income. That is not in and of itself a retirement plan. That should be used to supplement your retirement plan.
Yes, and I know being an advisor, you come across a lot of those types of retirement planning that we do.
Right, and you also want to incorporate in your retirement planning, you also want to incorporate some emergency savings. You want to incorporate investments, definitely. That's why we have Carol here to teach us some more.
Yes.
You also want to incorporate insurance planning because that's when you get down to your more vulnerable years during your retirement. You want to get your insurance incorporated from early so it's less costly for you when you get to that age.
Awesome.
And you also want to include estate planning.
What are the types of retirement plans that we have in Jamaica?
Well, there are
both salaried and self-employed persons.
There are two main types of pension plans that we have in Jamaica. You have defined contribution plans, where the main focus is on the employee's contribution. And you also have the defined benefit plan, which is more along the lines of what we would traditionally know as a superannuation funds or group pensions. Mm-hmm. And that would now align with what your salary is and your work history in terms of your employee benefits.
Awesome. And entrepreneurs, we have quite a bit of persons who
Right.
are self-employed.
Right.
Do we have pension plans for them?
We definitely do. You want to look along the lines of individual retirement accounts for our entrepreneurs now. And that's where our Scotia Bridge, which is an excellent IRA, would come into play.
Awesome, awesome. Now, I know in Jamaica, especially for self-employed persons, many of them, tend to want to plow back the profits into the business. Is
Right, and we see that quite a lot when we go to their business place. They're hard at work, really focused in terms of, building their business. But we also want to have them focus as well on their future, the lifestyle that they envision for themselves, and ensure that is protected from now, and the proper plans are put in place from now for that.
Right. So self-employed persons too may from time to time employ others in their company.
Right. So when we go into those business places, we also encourage the employers to get their staff enrolled in a pension plan, because if they don't have the staff enrolled in a pension plan, the business itself will become the staff's pension plan. And we saw that quite recently when we had to go to a company where when their employees were sent home, because they reached retirement age, a couple of months down the line they had to come back in, and ask for help out, with bills, or there was ill health and stuff like that. So they saw a great need to have a plan set up in place before they get to retirement to ensure that they're on the right track.
Awesome, awesome. And you said something that really stood out for me. If they don't have a pension plan, then the employer becomes their pension plan.
Right, right.
And in our context today, with just 11% or a little less than 11%
right.
of Jamaicans on a government
of the working population is enrolled in a pension plan. So we have a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah.
And also to carry for NIS. NIS right now is just $3,400 every fortnight. That's $6,800 every month. Not a lot of persons can survive on that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So again, very important
right.
to have a formal pension plan and structure in place.
Right, to protect you as well. So later on, when you get to retirement years, you can actually afford to retire.
Okay, great. Now, one of the things that we always encourage persons is to start early. Any merit to that?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. You look at a recent projection that we did for a 22-year-old person who contributed over a 40-year period, just contributing $5,000 per month, and over the 40-year period, their fund value would have grown to approximately $47 million. Whereas somebody who is starting at age 45, contributing for 20 years, which is about similar time age in terms of retirement, that person would have only accumulated about $7 million.
Right.
So fund accumulation and time, you need time for the compounding interest to grow, you need time for your investments to work. Right. The main point is to start early. Yeah.
Start early. And that doesn't mean that for persons who are not a 22-year-old or a 30-year-old, that they shouldn't start. I often tell persons that the youngest you'll ever be is today. And so if you haven't started, definitely start now.
Right.
Yes? Awesome.
Definitely, Carrie.
Now, Carrie-Ann, one of the things that we also think about in terms of retirement planning is how it is that who we talk to. Who do we go to and talk to? Yourself?
No, we don't want to talk to yourself. But we wanted to come in and speak with an advisor so they can properly guide you in terms of the investments, the right investments to make.
Yes.
We don't want you to go it alone. Some persons we see where they come in and say, boy, no, I can't manage my savings, manage my pension myself and start a savings account and they're pumping funds into it. But the savings account will never grow at the same pace that a pension plan will.
Nor does it have the benefits that a pension plan will accrue.
Right. So you have some wonderful taxation benefits under the pension plan. Government allows you to actually calculate your taxes against the remainder of your income when you make your tax deductions first.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And not only that, too, it's protected from your creditors. And you also have where you won't tend to take it out and do other things, those other expenses that will come at us once you're alive.
Right. So to break it out for some persons in a more simple context, say, for instance, you were earning $100,000 per month, right? Before calculating your taxes against that entire $100,000, what you can do is first minus what you're going to be putting into your pension plan. So let's say that figure is $20,000. So now instead of paying taxes against the entire $100,000, you're paying your taxes against $80,000. So you can pump that tax savings back into your pension plan now, and that's where you'll have tremendous growth happening.
Yes. And also for self-employed persons, we normally encourage them, right, to have their staff start a pension plan, encourage them to start a pension plan. They may not be able to contribute at this point, but have your staff start an individual retirement account. And what that does is it helps them to have something. Like, no, so many persons are retiring now that are dependent on their employers alone.
Right, and you also want to ensure that you put in as much as possible into your pension plan. You don't want, when you get to retirement, your pension income is like 50% of what you used to earn, or 40% or 30%. That means that you simply can't afford to retire. You want to aim for about 70 to 75% of what your outgoing income would be at the point of retirement.
Yes. And for some persons, I know 75% is a rule of thumb,
right?
But for some persons, it could be more. I mean, many of us start having children late, and so in terms of assisting them for tertiary education, we may have that expense. We may have an expense for a mortgage at that time. So it's very important that we have a formal plan of how we'll continue to earn after retirement.
Right. So when you sit with your advisor now, you create your budget, you look at what, different strategies you're going to employ, what your expenses are currently, and how you're going to balance out everything now. So later on down, you're easy, you're comfortable in your retirement years.
Awesome. Great advice, Kerry. Let's move to the first set of questions. Now, Hyacinth on Instagram asks, I'm unemployed for the past year. Is there a plan for persons like me?
Hyacinth, that's a great question. For unemployed persons, we would not encourage you to contribute to a pension plan per se, because the contributions that go into a pension plan has to come directly from your salary. So what we'd recommend for those persons is you can probably start a life savings like the Scotia Mint. That's an excellent option that will create a nest egg for you for later on down. And that's what a lot of our clients would use to supplement their retirement income as well. And you can also look at starting a life investment, which is our Scotia Affirm, that will help you along the same lines.
Right. So what I'm hearing is what we've said. Ensure that you have different sources of income, because with your individual retirement account, one of the benefits is that if you're not employed or you're not able to contribute, you can actually put it on hold. And so you'll benefit from the investments or the insurance policies that you'll have to be able to take you through at this time, Hyacinth. And I hope you'll gain some employment soon. Now, Roxy from Zoom asks, who can start a pension plan?
Anyone between the ages of 18 to 68 who is gainfully employed in Jamaica or earning income in Jamaica can start a pension plan.
Awesome, awesome. And our Scotia Bridge definitely between the ages of 18 to 68.
Right.
Now, there's another question. Karen asks, can I contribute to more than one pension plan at this time?
Karen, under the law currently, no, you're not allowed to contribute to more than one pension plan, although I know that a lot of persons are just waiting for the opportunity, which is coming up very soon. There are some changes that are being made to the Pensions Act of Jamaica.
I know, phase 2 of the pension.
Yes, so we're looking forward to that. You can actually own more than one pension plan, Kerry. You knew that, right?
Yes.
Because if you leave one employer and move on to another employer and you didn't carry that first pension plan with you, you move on to start another pension plan at another location. As long as you're not actively contributing to both pension schemes at the same time, right, you're not breaking law.
Awesome. Now, Osonia on Zoom asks, what if I lose my job and can't afford to contribute any further? And I think we just answered that a while ago. When we spoke about having an individual retirement account and being able to put those contributions on hold. Yes?
Yes, Carrie.
Yes. And Winsome T, she contacted us by email. How can I sign up for a retirement plan with Scotia? Loving that.
Well, pre-COVID, you could have just visited the branch, but we recommend that you call in first and make an appointment with one of our advisors, either a Scotia Insurance Advisor or a Scotia Investment Advisor, and we can get you started, can get you onboarded.
Awesome. And they just take along their ID, TRN, NIS,
Right.
and of course bring the names of your beneficiaries.
And your first contribution that you want to make.
Yes. And we're looking forward for you to become a customer. Now, Moisha M asks, what's the difference between health and life insurance?
Health insurance will take care of your medical expenses while you're alive. And life insurance is more for death. So when you pass on and you want to leave an estate for your children or for your beneficiaries, that's where life insurance would come into play.
All right. And then Dante on IG touches on a topic that we're all very curious about. Will there be any charges while I contribute to my pension plan? Well, I know certainly we can answer for Scotia Bridge.
Right, for Scotia Bridge, just a monthly administrative charge of $200. 200 Jamaican dollars per month. Yeah.
All right, and this particular question I do love. It's from a stay-at-home mom who wants to know how they can save for their retirement from money received from their spouses. And again, this looks at a multifaceted approach where they can do investments, insurance.
Life savings, definitely. Yeah, and that will also create an estate for her as well. Although she's a stay-at-home mom, that's one of the easiest ways for you to do estate planning, Kerry, is to purchase life insurance.
Yes.
Yeah, and you name the beneficiaries. You might not have 2 million or 3 million to leave aside in case you pass on before, But if you can afford to find the $3,500 per month, which is a minimum to start a Scotiabank policy, for instance, then that can create a nice little estate for you.
Awesome. And then Miss Lal from Zoom, I would love to save for my retirement, especially since I'm getting minimum wages. How can you help me?
Minimum wages. Well.
And we do have minimum wage earners who contribute to our Scotia Bridge.
Yes, we definitely do. And that's why we set the minimum to start our pension plan at $3,000 per month. Ideally, we'd want persons to start our work with a range between 5% to 20% of your gross income is the industry standard. But at Scotiabank, at Scotia Insurance, the minimum that you can start your pension plan with is $3,000 per month.
Okay. And of course, even though you start with a minimum, we hope that, things get better for you and you're able to increase as you go along. In fact, we ask that you try and maximize that 20% of your annual income per year, per month, as you go along.
Because you still want your pension plan to work for you in the end. Yeah.
All right. So, wow, we have the comments to keep coming in. I'm very happy about this. Patricia Reed War on Zoom asks, aligned to the pension plan, self-employed persons also need to get health insurance because as they get older, they start having health issues. They may not be able to get health insurance and major incident can happen, and erode your savings. So really want to advocate for having not just a pension, as we said, but insurance, health insurance, and life insurance. So thank you, Ms. Lal. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. And again, it underscores what we've been saying. Look at that emergency savings, look at the insurance, estate planning, investment. Yes? And so we'll take another question from Zoom. Joan, thank you for submitting. It says here, I'm interested to learn what retirement instruments would be suitable available to me. And wanting to know if she's too old for Scotia Bridge. Well,
at 52, we'd recommend that you start a pension plan as early as possible. When you're going into a pension plan also, we'd recommend that you go for at least 10 years to give the investment some time to work. So provided that the client is willing to work with that time range, and provided that the client is willing to go for maximum period before the pension plan matures, then we could still look at incorporating an IRA into her financial plan, along with other components like the long-term investments that could come from Scotia Investment side to tie in with that too, to ensure that she doesn't have just the pension plan depending on when she gets to retirement.
Awesome. And this one is from Zoom. Espinedo, I know there are a lot of schemes out there. why should I choose Scotiabank for securing my golden years? And Kerry, you know we always laugh and say this in particular, that Scotiabank, we won't retire before you do.
Definitely. And although we're known for for being a conservative bank, that's also a winning point for a lot of our customers, because they know that their pension plan is safe and it's secure, and it will definitely be there to help them during their retirement years, because we undertake, a lot of wise investment choices for them for the pension.
Yes. And certainly Scotiabank is here for every future. We really learn how to manage our risk. And one of the things with retirement is that you don't want to be worried about where you're putting your money, if it is safe. We've been around for over 131 years and certainly have been successful and continue to be, and I know that that will be so. Now, Christine from Zoom says, what if you're already retired and would like to save or invest? Is it too late?
What if you're already retired
Yes.
and would like to save or invest? No, it's not too late for you to continue saving and investing. When you meet with your Scotia investment advisor, your portfolio will definitely speak to
how diversified we can have the portfolio.
Right.
Yes.
No.
And that personalized goal.
Awesome. And so we'll be getting a lot of questions, and we invite you to continue to submit them, and we'll try to answer as many of them as possible. That is the beauty of having a forum like this, that you can talk to us from wherever you are and to get the pertinent information. Now, Antoinette B asks, what's the difference between Scotia Mint and Scotia Bridge? So that's a customer who knows our products. Carry on.
So a Scotia Mint is a universal life policy. That basically means it's insurance with savings.
Investment,
And the
yes.
Scotia Bridge is your individual retirement account that you can open for your pension plan.
And so, we'd really love for her to have both.
Definitely endorse
All
it for
three.
for a sound portfolio.
Exactly. And investments too,
Yes,
Karel?
definitely.
Yes. Now, Ali from Instagram, I'm employed and is enrolled in a pension scheme. Can I take out a plan with Scotia? I think this was asked before, and we did say at this time that you are not able to participate in 2 government-approved pension schemes. Now, when the pensions reform takes place, phase 2 of the pensions reform, this is something that I know that is being discussed, and certainly Scotia Insurance has a seat at the table with the FSC and the Minister of Finance in that discussion, and we'd be happy to have persons being able to contribute to more than one pension scheme. I certainly would be.
Oh,
Yes.
definitely.
All right. So these and other questions, a lot of persons will ask, for example, now, can I contribute to my mother's pension?
Definitely not, because your pension plan should be funded by your salary, your own salary, not your children's salary, not your husband's salary, your own particular salary, because you have individual income tax benefits that you're earning at the same time while you're contributing to your pension plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Lovely. And again, why it is up to us, each as individual, to really start our own government-approved pension plan. And I'd really love for us to move that number from 11% that it currently sits at. Now we have another question from Jackie W. And it's a similar question that we had before, which is, good day. My question is, if you worked with the government and to get a pension, can I take out another pension plan with Scotia? And we just answered that.
Yeah.
And I see, again, I hope that the Minister of Finance and FSC will speed up this discussion, because clearly,
But what they can do in the
persons are certainly interested in contributing to more than one pension scheme to maximize their benefits.
But what you can also do while we're waiting on that to be rolled out is ensure that you're maximizing what you already have in place. A lot of persons are stuck at 5% or 10% of their income.
Yes.
So ensure that you speak to your HR person, see what the possibilities are, and increase it up to 15% or up to 20%. And, you can take
Whatever the
advantage of
maximum is
take advantage of
according
time
to
that way.
scheme.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Now, Steve, can I structure my Scotia Mint as a retirement plan? Again, it seems like another Scotiabank customer.
Yeah. Structuring your Scotia Mint like a retirement plan, would that be a case where you don't have a formal pension plan in place as yet? If it's a case where you want to use it to supplement what you're already contributing to for another pension scheme, you won't be able to per se structure your Scotia Mint like a retirement plan.
It's different.
It's totally
Serves a
different.
purpose.
Yeah, but you can definitely use the supplement a formal pension plan that you already have in place.
Okay.
Please confirm.
Right. And there was a question from someone who asked if it is that we would have investment instruments to get good returns in retirement years. And Karel, I know that's definitely where you come in.
Most definitely. We do have that. Scotia Investments has the honor of putting all of the resources together, right? And what we do is pretty much look at each and every client and find out what their financial goal is. Pretty much, if a client comes to me and says to me, Carol, I want to set aside some retirement funds, how do I go about it? We sit down, we analyze the portfolio. We find out what it is that the client wants to end up at the end of the day. Monies are broken down into 3 different asset classes: cash, income, and growth. Cash, easily accessible, income to generate income in your portfolio, and growth for capital appreciation. You want to actually look at your clients and say to them, how much years do you have before you fully retire? How much are you earning now? Are you able to set aside a lump sum amount for contribution in your portfolio? We tailor the client's portfolio to specific needs. When you look at a retirement portfolio, you want to make sure that everything that the client is anticipating, the risk tolerance, a conservative, moderate risk, aggressive nature, you're putting it all in one. You don't have to actually put all your eggs in one basket. You want to have all the resources together.
All right. Just a minute. We have one last question from Zoom, Una Hamilton. And again, seems like another Scotiabank customer. Can you have both Mint and Bridge simultaneously?
Definitely, Una. You can have both a Scotia Mint policy and a Scotia Bridge plan at the same time.
Awesome.
And both can definitely complement each other. Yeah.
Thank you, Carrie-Ann, and we appreciate those questions coming in, and we will now continue with Carol, who started to tell us about supplementing having a pension plan with investments. Continue, Carol.
Thank you. So, as I was saying earlier, supplementing your investments with retirement planning is all about adequacy, balancing, and making sure that you have something for the future.
Yes.
Now, when I sit with our clients, as earlier stated, you go through what it is that the client wants to ascertain at the end of their retirement.
Yes.
You want to know that what you're giving them is diversification. You want to make sure that the risk tolerance is important. The time horizon is especially important because you don't want to put anything in the portfolio that will fluctuate, trend up or down, or give a shock to the portfolio. So when it is that they need their funds, it's not accessible.
Okay.
We, at Scotia Investments, tailor the portfolio to suit the client's needs, right? You want to make sure that they're getting their retirement income when it is that they want to get it, and you want to make sure that them themselves are a part of the portfolio, right? When you go on to speaking about retirement, you ask certain pertinent questions.
Yes.
Asset allocation. That is very, very important. You have some 3 components that should make up the portfolio. And once you have any of those 3 components, cash, income, or growth, the portfolio is easily balanced.
Okay.
You want to know that the risk and the return make sense. A lot of clients will come to me and say, Carol, I want something that gives me good returns, but I don't want to take a little risk.
I
want to take any risk.
Interest or
High rate of return. But it all has to balance. It has to make sense.
Yes.
If you are going to a long-term, you're waiting for a long-term retirement plan, you don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to be moderate. It can be a combination of all 3.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Thank you for those insights, Carol.
You're welcome.
And we'll go further into taking some more questions about investments and how it is that we support our retirement plan with investments. And again, I remind you that Carol is our Senior Insurance Investment Advisor, who will be so happy to have a full discussion with you at any time about ensuring that you have something set away for the future.
It's key.
All right. And so stand by. We'll have some questions coming up right now.
Thank you.
All right. So what do I need to start a pension plan?
Yes. So it's a video question.
What you need to start a pension plan is your government-issued ID, photo ID, your TRN, your NIS number, and your first contribution, your first monthly contribution to begin.
Awesome. Here's the next question.
Do you need to get a pension plan started?
What it is that you need to have your pension plan started? And I think it's a similar question that we had before. We have a lot of persons very interested in starting the pension plan. And so for their benefits, again, carry on. It's a government-approved ID, NIS, TRN.
Government-issued ID, photo ID, your TRN card or the TRN letter, that's it being issued now, and your NIS number, and the monthly contribution that you want to make.
Yes, and please record the names of your beneficiaries' date of birth, especially males who tend not to remember.
Right, so you want to come in with the correct spelling of your beneficiaries' names and also their date of birth information.
All right, thank you, Kerry. We have another question via video.
Yes, I'd like to know, can I have an existing pension plan with Scotia as well as the company I'm employed with?
Right, so we answered that question earlier as well. No, currently you're not allowed to contribute to more than one pension scheme at a time, so you'd have to wait until the Pensions Act is actually changed for that.
You can come and invest in Scotia.
But you can still, of course, speak to our Scotia investment advisor and insurance advisor. We can put other plans in place for you. So it's not going to be a formal pension scheme per se, but it's something to definitely supplement what you already have in place.
Okay, awesome. The questions keep coming in. And I invite you to, again, submit them via Zoom or chat box, Instagram Live, and we will go through as many of them as possible. So Ava Maria Campbell on Zoom asks, what if I pass before I retire? Is there a beneficiary attached to the fund? Where will the money invested go in this event?
Definitely, we would take your beneficiary information at point of onboarding.
Yes.
And in the event you pass away, your funds will definitely go straight over to your beneficiaries.
Tax-free, I might add.
Yes, tax-free as well.
Tax-free, I might add. So yes, you do have beneficiaries attached, and that's why we encourage persons to take along, those details. I joked earlier about the males not remembering date of birth, and I hope none of them feel bad about it, but it is just something that I've come across. Certainly, years ago, as an advisor, it was something that was very common, that our male. I don't know if there's something that you've noticed.
Definitely. A lot of males don't remember, date of birth information, but we're not going to sing.
Or
I don't want to single out the males. Please come see me.
We won't single them out. And we'll go to Carleen Giscombe Parks from Zoom. Can I add a lump sum payment at any time to Scotia Bridge?
As long as your total contributions for the year do not exceed 20% of your gross annual income, yes, you can add lump sums to your Scotia Bridge pension plan, as long as it doesn't exceed it during your calendar year, January to December.
Yes, so they can add lump sums at any time. And in fact, you can do that online by setting up the Scotia Bridge as an online payee, right?
Right, online, using the bill payment feature, I believe it is, on your online banking setup. Right.
Awesome. So, now that we have COVID and not a lot of persons want to come inside our banking halls or to queue up outside, there are other alternate delivery channels, service delivery channels that persons can take advantage of. So you can add, payment via the ATM, for example, or TeleScotia, and of course Scotia Online. Right. So Love Notes from IG asks, I'm 35 and I haven't started retirement planning. Am I too late? What do you recommend to catch up?
No, you're not too late, although we would have wanted you to start off from day one when you just started working. But for
Definitely not too late.
Right. In terms of catching up, that's a tricky one. In terms of catching up, it's not something that you'll be able to catch up to for the last time that you missed out from day one when you started working. However, going forward, we would recommend that you be as aggressive as possible in terms of the contributions that you make. Put in as much as possible, try and reach your max in terms of aiming for as close as possible to the 20% of your gross income we were talking about earlier.
Yes, awesome.
And supplementing your resources, adding some investment to your portfolio.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
definitely.
It comes in conjunction with everything else that we had said earlier. You
Yes.
want to put everything together. 35, you still have a ways to go. A long way to go.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, Kristen from Zoom asks, can I move my pension contribution when I resign to my new job?
Definitely, your pension is portable.
Definitely.
Yeah, you
Yes.
can move it.
You can.
And in doing so, moving it from one pension scheme to another, you'll definitely preserve your tax benefits as well. Yeah.
And that's something I find that many of us in Jamaica tend to take our pension funds when we are moving to another job, and we use it. We may start business or something, and it doesn't normally work out.
Right, and then you have to start over again in terms of your pension contribution.
Yes.
So we definitely recommend porting your pension to another pension scheme.
Yes, certainly, Christine. Now, Sharon G asks, what is the minimum amount to start the pension plan? And when she says the pension plan, I'm going to assume here it's Scotia Bridge or Scotia Bridge pension plan.
Well, the minimum to start your Scotia Bridge, the standard minimum is $3,000. But you do have some situations where you have professionals who are earning a significant amount. We would definitely recommend that they start at about 5% of their gross income and not work with the $3,000 figure per se. Yeah, because that might have them fall outside of their range of their outgoing income at the point of retirement.
Yes, certainly. So while we make it affordable for everyone to certainly have an approved retirement scheme, it is really where we recommend, 5% maximum, maximizing that 20%. Yes?
Do more. Once you can do more, do more.
Yes, certainly. And then Jordan on Zoom says, if I have over 30 years left for retirement, can I use aggressive investments like stock in my retirement plan? Carol, what do you say?
Most definitely. That's important. Growth, appreciation outweighs everything else. So definitely income and growth, equity portfolio is definitely the way to go. I encourage that and I love that.
Okay. So Roger asks, why is real estate not recognized as a reliable source of income? And Karel, it's not that it's not recognized. It's actually what you do with that real estate, right?
Exactly. And you also have to remember that you want to be able to get back liquidity as fast as you can. You understand? Income, the income asset class is supposed to actually generate income for
That's the
you,
operative word there.
right? And sometimes it's not that way. So you have to be careful. So it's not that we don't want to put it in the whole gamut of things, but you have to remember it has to be accessible.
And definitely generate an income for you.
Definitely generate
right?
income for you.
So thank you for that question. Now, Susie on IG, would I be able to adjust my retirement investment plan after I set it up?
Definitely, it is flexible because your job situation might change, your income might change. So we might need to reduce what you are contributing on a monthly basis. And definitely on the positive side, we look forward to increasing what you would have started off with from day one, so long as your total contributions do not exceed the required 20% of your gross annual income.
Yes, so it's very flexible. It's very flexible. And in fact, Tanisha from IG's question, can I make one lump sum payment for a year, will certainly indicate the flexibility of it, because yes, you're allowed to add one lump sum per year.
Although sometimes we'll ask for you to make at least 2 payments per year, but you can definitely add just one lump sum for your pension plan per year.
You can. And what we really advise is for persons to have their pension contribution as a line item in their budget, the way they would have, the car loan or the student loan. So every month, this is something that sets aside just for your retirement, yes? So while you have the flexibility of adding at any time and adding a lump sum once for the year, we really encourage you to keep it consistent and to ensure that it forms a line item in your budget. All right? And then Roshani S. says, what happens if you lose your job due to a pandemic? Is there a fee charged if you missed a monthly payment in the Scotiabank plan?
No, there isn't a fee. I think they're referring to probably like a penalty for missing a contribution.
Right, and there's no such thing.
No, we don't have that on a Scotiabank.
Not at all, not at all. And I'm sure, he would be happy to hear about the flexibility again with Scotiabank, that you can reduce your monthly payment or put it on hold until things
Yes,
get
you can
better
definitely
for
put it on hold.
Yes.
And as soon as things get better, you come in and you get yourself reinstated in terms of your monthly contributions, get it going again.
Awesome. Now, Francine Scott asks a question from Zoom, and I appreciate this one. What if I can only afford the $3,000 for my pension? Should I still do it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yes.
Something better than nothing. Definitely start it with the $3,000 per month until you can, step yourself up and probably make additional lump sum contributions for the year to make up for any shortfall in terms of the monthly contribution that you weren't able to make earlier. So long as, again, you don't exceed 20% of your gross annual income.
Awesome. And Ms. Scott, I hope you heard that. Definitely start now, We're looking forward to having you. Now, Antoinette B says, have a Scotia Mint already. What is the minimum to start a Scotia Bridge?
Standard minimum again, and I don't mind repeating this over and over. Standard minimum is $3,000 per month, but we'll definitely encourage you to put in as much as possible, up to 20% of your gross income.
Yes.
Yeah.
Antoinette? So thank you for being a Scotia Insurance customer. And we certainly have a number of customers who are tuning in today.
Yeah.
I'm very happy about that. Now, there's a question here. Which is more beneficial? Leaving my pension with my previous employer and wait to receive the benefits when I retire, whilst I start over with my new employer, or transferring pension to new employer and receive one pension on retirement? Thank you, Claudia Stewart, for that question. And it depends, right?
Yeah, it depends. Every situation is going to be different.
Yeah.
We'd have to know exactly how much you have already contributed with your previous employer. to see if it
close
makes
you
sense.
are.
You're right, how close you are to retirement. A number of different factors. So we'd have to sit down with you specifically and look at what your situation is
Right.
to give you the correct answer to that question.
Right. So, Ms. Stewart, I hope you will come in and see Carrie-Ann pretty soon, right?
Definitely. Looking forward to it, Ms. Stewart.
And then, Tanisha from IG, what are the tax benefits of a pension scheme? I love this question as well.
The income tax benefits of a pension scheme, I'm going back to my earlier illustration. You are allowed to deduct your pension contributions from your gross salary first, and then calculate your income tax against the remainder of your income. And that's how you get an immediate tax benefit in terms of the savings there. Later on, when you get to retirement, there are some additional tax benefits that will kick in. You have 25% lump sum that we can pay out to you, tax-free, and the rest is going to be paid out to you on a monthly basis, tax-deferred. So there are a number of different tax benefits that you get from a pension plan.
And I'll dare say the type of benefits and protection you get from a pension plan, I don't think any other investments enjoy
No,
that,
you're
right?
not going to get it from another type of investment. That's why it's so important to ensure for your retirement portfolio, you have a pension plan incorporated somewhere.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Now, thank you for those questions. Thank you. And then we will go to a video testimonial from one of our own ScotiaBridge customers, Dr. Claudine Lewis.
I'm Claudine Lewis and I'm a cardiologist. I practice in Montego Bay and basically this is where I grew up. I've had a long-standing relationship with Scotiabank from I was a medical student, and I have been a retirement planner since I started working as a professional in 2008. The work world has shifted from, giving people pension and having people being pensioned to basically putting you on a contract, and therefore it becomes your responsibility to plan for your retirement. And so that was of importance for me, that once I was no longer able to work, by virtue of age, that I would have an income that would be equivalent to what I'm earning currently. I did not want to wait until I was 60 to be able to enjoy traveling the world. And so I wanted to retire when I was 45, which was an ambitious goal because I'm now past that. So Scotia makes it pretty easy for you to start a ScotiaBridge plan. The reps are kind of relentless. They will come to you if you find excuses to not be able to meet with them because of your time commitments. Now I have that sense of comfort that my investments that I've been making would be there for me.
No, we appreciate Dr. Lewis. It's really good as someone who is self-employed to ensure that she had the foresight to have her own individual retirement account. Yes, that's awesome.
Yes.
Now, Carol, a lot of the questions were really about ScotiaMint, ScotiaBridge,
Yes.
and so on. And I really wanted you to talk a little bit more about having investments. So a lot of us know about savings. Very popular, savings. And in fact, a lot of us will quarrel about how we don't make no money.
On
on
your
the
savings account.
Yes.
Yes, I've heard that all the time. And the truth is, people feel comfortable in a savings account, but they want to make the returns. You can't make the returns on the savings account without the investment component.
Yes.
And the reality is that you have to supplement everything, use all the resources that you have, and just diversify. Just like you can diversify in life, diversify in investments, in your portfolio. It is key, because at the end of the day, when you look at your retirement plan, you want to know that you have something else. You don't want to just know that it's just an account that you're looking towards. You want to put investments. It's key. A lot of persons come at the end of the day and say, boy, Carol, if I had known that the stocks would have gone so, way up before the pandemic, of course, and if they knew that certain returns or their friends, have something, and only if I knew. Stop. Just start right now.
Yes.
Scotia Investments, we are there and we are here to support everything when it comes on to retirement and just even any other financial goal. Here, our forum is talking about retirement, so I will speak about retirement. But definitely any goal, and at Scotia Investments, we definitely customize to suit the client's needs. Whatever it is that you want to achieve at the end of the day, we are the person to do it with.
So come and talk to you.
Please do. Or any other investment advisor, but definitely.
Or insurance advisor.
Or insurance advisor. We share the same platform.
Yes. You know, it's just something that many of us, we feel it's complicated and we don't know where to start. Come in, see us, call us, and we'll be more than happy, you know, to
And that's the
to
thing
have that
about,
conversation.
right, and that's the thing about Scotia Investments. I can speak for all of our advisors. We take it back down to basics. We sit with you. We go through, we listen to you. Whatever it is that you want to achieve, believe you me, we listen. Even it is that you're not so comfortable with the bonds and the stocks. We do have savings components that is similar to your savings
So we
account.
put the customer first.
So we'll
and
put the customer
definitely
first.
Look at the suitability of the product.
Suitability, risk tolerance, time horizon, all of those things. You put it in one thing and give you an outcome.
All right. So there's a comment from Zoom, and Francine S. I love this comment, and thank you. And you say that you have a pension plan. The only regret is that you didn't start earlier. And so you recognize, Francine, the benefit of having a pension plan. And I hope you just encourage your family, your friends to start today if they haven't, all right? Since you recognize the benefit of it, all right? And then Karen asks, can I withdraw from my pension plan for emergencies? I love this question.
No, we would not recommend that you're going to be treating your pension plan like a savings account now. And we definitely recommend that you don't do that, because that will definitely jeopardize your retirement later. So when we start a pension plan, that's why we also recommend that you incorporate some sort of long-term savings
An emergency savings.
for emergency and long-term investments too, to ensure that, you know, that will take care of, you know, any problems that might come up along the way.
Awesome, awesome.
And we do have a financial goal for emergency savings.
Yes, yes.
Investments, we do have that. So that's another corner that you can look at.
Right.
Okay. And then Shauna on IG asks, I've started an individual retirement account and recently got employed to a company that has a pension plan. You know, wants to know what to do. And of course, she'll be able to port it to her
company.
Company superannuation
so she can benefit
plan.
from their pension.
Yes, yes. And I'm so happy that her company has a pension plan.
Right.
And again, that is why we love to have that number, that 11% or so,
right,
that has a pension plan, a formal pension plan in Jamaica. You know, certain increase. That's our desire.
Right, and that's why this pension discussion is so important. We try to get out there early, so you know persons can understand the importance of starting early and putting aside as much as possible into your pension or your retirement scheme.
All right, so as we close today, we discussed a lot and we gained a lot of insights. Thank you, Carrie-Ann. Thank you, Karel.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You know,
You're welcome.
I just want to leave us all with these thoughts, you know, some things that really stood out for me during the conversation. Start early. Save as much as possible so you maximize that 20% maximum of your annual income that you can put in. Diversify your sources of income. Stick to the plan. So you have a plan, stick to it, and keep the funds long term. And of course, ensure that you get a structured government approved pension plan that will ensure that you receive a payout when you retire and live the lifestyle that you want. Again, thank you all for joining us today. I want to thank you so much for sending in your questions And for those questions that we were not able to answer during this time, send us a direct message at Scotiabank Jam, and we'll certainly answer them for you. You can also contact our Scotia Insurance Advisor and Scotia Investment Advisor, because Scotia Investment has recently started selling Scotia Bridge as well. I'm very happy about that.
Yes, thank you.
And you can call us at 888-4-SCOTIA or 888-472-6842. It was an awesome session. And again, thank you all for joining us. And thank you for choosing Scotiabank, and we see you soon.